Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here from the road with the legend, the smashiest of smashers, John Fitch. Fitch, how are you, brother?
Doing good. Doing
Doing
pretty
good.
good.
How's California?
It's starting to cool off a little bit
Yeah.
out here, which is
What?
nice because it's been crazy hot this last August and now a little bit of September. But yeah, I'm looking
Really?
forward to the fall.
So what's the deal on the restrictions there? Because this is the first time I've been to Florida since COVID 1984. It's been a long time, and obviously it got some really good media and press. It's also a giant state, right? So if you're at the
Hmm.
top and you go down to the bottom, you're looking at like an 8 9 hour drive. That's not even side to
Hmm.
side. It's almost like Texas like in that respect. This is
Yeah,
the first time that I've been able to go around, and I got to tell you, I am kind of impressed. The
yeah.
only people that are wearing the masks are the people that are forced to via corporate, and then the really, really brainwashed ones. I mean, what's the sense right now in California as everything is being restricted? And you can see federally, they're not only going after the boop boop mandates, and now they're talking about 5 to 11 year olds, but they're
Yeah.
going after masks everywhere, even where they're banned.
It's man, it's different depending on where you're going, where you're at. If you're around the techies, if you're around the corporate people, you're going to see a lot of masks and people uptight. But the kids had a little festival at their school on over the weekend, and it's outside, and there are rides and games and food and stuff like that. And I was like, man, why do they have to have masks? There's mask signs up. If you even if you're fully vaccinated, you should wear a mask. But then like I started off wearing it below my nose, and the kids are kind of wearing it below their nose, and then I see a couple people without their masks on, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not doing this. Took it off, took the kids' masks off. I was like, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
And spent the rest of the night doing everything, not being bothered by anybody, wearing a mask. And this is it's a Catholic, like it's a church thing. Like you'd think these would be the least likely people to fall victim to this stuff. And sure enough, there were plenty of people who were just like me. And, I would say about, you know, 15% of the population that night was like, no, I'm not wearing a mask.
And
So it was
that's the
nice to
thing, dude.
see. Yeah. And a lot of people who were wearing the mask weren't wearing them, completely right. I think a lot of the workers were wearing the mask because they had to, it's their part of their job. But for
Hmm.
the most part, no, actually, you know what? That was the big thing that led me to take my mask off is when I got my tickets. The guy and the lady sitting in the ticket booth, there were some carnies and they were not wearing masks. And I was like, I got you. I'm not doing this.
God bless them. And I'll tell you what, man, I am seeing that more and more. Wherever, I'll tell you what. So before I went on my trip, I went to the Goodwill, and that's where I do a little video game shopping, and sometimes I'll get some electronics there, et cetera, et cetera. They got some good deals. That's where some of these monitors come from while I'm on the road, right? You can get monitors now for like $5 at these stores. And we're going to be teaching that, kids. Don't worry. So anyway, Iowa and Illinois, where I am, they're 5 minutes away. So I hadn't crossed the bridge since the governor of Illinois again mandated masks everywhere in Illinois. But I haven't been playing pretend. And about a month ago, I went shopping in all these places, and it was pretty relaxed. You know what I mean? No one said anything.
Mhm.
I walk in, and I would assume that this kid also works over in one of the aisle ones too that I'm at, right? Everybody has, not only does everybody have a mask on, but as I walk in, the kid goes, "Hey, do you have a mask?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "Well, let me get one for you." I go, "No, I don't want one." And he just looks at me kind of, and he's like, "Okay." And I literally, in a store probably with 25 to 30 people, was the only one without a mask on. But I'm done. I'm done. It's either you're going
That's-
to kick me out and you're going to get a tongue lashing on the way out, or
mhm.
you're just going to let me do my thing and I'll leave you alone, and I'm not going to act like you're a total slave right there. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's where we're at. We're at full slavery. And before we go further, and we're going to talk MMA, I got a lot to
Mhm.
discuss on here. I'm exposing the
Well,
Screw Your Freedoms gang, dude. This
I,
is
I
it.
went to the Bellator event on
Okay.
Saturday, and I would say that was maybe 20% compliant. People were 20% of the people actually wore their masks. So you had to wear a mask to come in. All the workers wore their masks. and you had to wear your mask. As you went by the usher told you, "Oh, put your mask on, wear your mask, put your mask above your face." But like the second you passed the usher, like people pulled their masks down. Everybody's walking around the concessions in line for the concessions with their mask down below their chin. By the time you got down to the floor or the seat, you look around, nobody has their mask on. It was definitely less than 20% compliant in that arena, and there was a lot of people there, and it just goes to show you too. It's I don't know. It's like more blue collar. I feel like doesn't give a shit about the
It's a
mask.
facade. It's all right. So I
Yes,
actually
they
watched that
understand
event.
it's fake. They understand that, like, oh, we're coming down. Um, you got to wear your mask when you're coming in, but like, oh, if you can sit down, you're shoulder to shoulder with somebody, you can take your mask down and drink a beer and eat your nachos. But like, it's stupid. Like, what scientific studies have been done to show that that does anything? That you can wear your mask walking into a restaurant and then take it off when you sit down. It's so stupid. It's just stupid. And it
Well,
really is just a way to get them to start getting you to be compliant. Okay, follow this stupid rule. Follow this dumb idiot rule that doesn't do anything, and then we'll get you to do other dumb stuff later.
it's more than dumb. This is it. This is the takeover. This is the transhumanist. You will comply. You will wear what we say, act as we say, and put things into your body as we say.
Well,
And the more we keep playing pretend instead of just outright saying, "Hey, man, we need to stop this," to everybody. Everybody just needs to, like, in that
need to
situation.
stop
So I
it.
watched it. That was in San Jose. That was in California. Militich and I were watching, and I was looking into the crowd, and I'm like, I wonder where this is, because it's only inside the crowd that I see people with masks. In other words, on the other side of the fence, the regulators, and even some of them are wearing it on their chin. When you looked
Yeah.
at the crowd, really nobody. It was very rare to
Yeah.
see a mask there. So
As soon as people sat down, they took their mask off, put it in a pocket.
Fitch, before we get any further, because I want to know what the restrictions were other than the mask. They obviously didn't have a vaccine passport, or you couldn't have gotten in, right? That's not there
No.
yet. The
Yeah, that
digital
was when I asked for my tickets. I had to double check to make sure that there's no requirements because, like, I wasn't going to go.
period. And that's
Yeah.
the thing. Everybody has to say no to this. You have this new naval
Mass
commander coming out.
non-compliance.
Everything. So
Yep.
let's promote ourselves just for a second here. I'm over on the YouTube. That's where some of you are watching this. Unfortunately, YouTube heavily censors what I can say here and what John can say here. So eventually we'll move all the way over to the Rockfin, but we still need you to subscribe, share. John Fitch has also got his John Fitch Knows Nothing program. Tell people about that, Fitch.
Yeah, John Fitch Knows Nothing is Sunday nights, 7 p.m. I have not set up my show for this week yet, but I also follow me. Go to my website, johnfitch.net. Sign up for the newsletter. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me Twitter. Send me DMs. I do private lessons, small groups, seminars, self-defense, MMA, everything. You want to learn it. I do consultations on the phone too, or Zoom calls, whatever. But reach out. I'm available.
And remember, we are both over on the Rockfin. We are almost at 36,000. In fact, if we push it, we could be at 36,000 today, guys. And John, also, you are on the Rockfin. You've actually got some privatized lessons there and some premium
Yep.
stuff. If you're a premium subscriber to myself or John Fitch, guess what? You get both. It's a great deal. You want to get on that. So let's talk restrictions. Let's talk MMA a little bit before we... Listen, we're going to go hard on Schwarzenegger. We're going to go hard on Bloomberg. I promise you. I know everybody's looking at the thumbnail. We're going to go hard on Stern. Because Stern was a personal, almost, I don't have heroes, but definitely somebody I looked up to when I grew up. And I admired what he did. And now I'm revolted by it. He still gets to speak. I'm not trying to censor the guy, but he's disgusting. Like, period. It's not because of all the sexual stuff or the crass stuff or the shock jock stuff. It's the screw your freedom stuff. So... no passports, mask facade. That's about it over at San Jose right now.
That I can tell. I haven't noticed anything else. I mean, you go to the gym, and the gyms are very lax. You gotta put on the front and wear the mask in the way into the building. But when you go into the class, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. You got to wear a mask going into the building, but then when you walk out on the mat to have the class, you can take it off. Like the
It's
kids
just
wear a
like,
mask into the building and then they go and do jujitsu and take their mask off and they're sweating and breathing all over each other. It's the dumbest thing ever.
and again, if you're a celebrity and at the Video Music Awards, you don't
Yeah.
have to wear a mask.
Yep.
Security wears a mask.
Yep.
If you're at the Emmys, you're a celebrity.
And
You don't have to wear a mask. Everybody else has to wear a mask. If you want to go to New York City as the president of Brazil, Bolsonaro, who refuses to take the vaccine, Bill de Blasio tells you can't come. He says don't bother coming. And that's the kind of techno-fascism takeover. Because think about this. The UN is such a corrupt organization. They applaud that authoritarianism. That's eventually what they want. You don't get to speak. You don't get to have a voice. We just dictate everything. And we're going to get into it, I promise, guys. I keep teasing it, but I want to talk more MMA. Because Phil Davis, you were at the show, really took it to Romero in that fight. And I'd say that Neiman Gracie's hands have gotten a little better. I like that call out with Jason Jackson. I don't know if he wins that fight. Jackson's on a road, but I like that he wants to, basically take back that loss and fight a tough guy right now. What are your thoughts on the card, and what are your thoughts on Gracie?
it was a fun card. One of the most fun and surprising fights of the night was the big tuna fight. It was a light heavyweight fight. The guy who looked like he'd lost 80 pounds, 100 pounds of fat, and he had loose skin. And nobody in the crowd thought he was going to win that fight.
36 seconds knocks him out. I watched it. It was great. Yeah.
Two-piece. It was wild. The crowd went crazy, but everybody. It was one of those things. Like people, if I could have laid a bet down right then, I would have, because like when they're announcing the guy and he's coming out, like they're all like snickering and people are like, "What is this guy looks like me?" And then like they're joking and like, "What is this? His last minute replacement?" Everybody had something smart to say. And then he put it on the guy, put a nice combination together, knocked him out, and the crowd kind of went nuts.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that was actually an exciting moment. It was a good card. I watched a lot of it. It was, that and the UFC card kind of culminated because the UFC was early enough where that ended, the main event ended, and it was actually 20 minutes till the Bellator main card started. So I had the prelims on the background. We were running dual TVs. Anthony Smith takes it to span pretty hard and gets nasty afterwards. That was a fun card too. Lawler versus Diaz this weekend went up to 185. What are your thoughts?
It's been a while since Nick won a fight. He hasn't done anything for a while. They call last minute to move it up to 185. I don't know if it's going to go that great for him.
Do you think the fight actually happens?
Lawler's been too active. Man, that's I wouldn't. How many has Nick pulled out of fights?
The thing is,
he's pulled out of press conferences, like
yeah, but he's also gotten taken out of fights because of that. You got the last minute thing. I think Lawler's still a dangerous dude. He was actually talking about training with Jason Jackson. I don't know how much. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's been active, so like.
I think Lawler's
Nick's body looks kind of soft.
Nick Diaz is a tough guy. He's a warrior. I love him. I think he's there for a payday, unfortunately. I'd love to be proven wrong. I don't know that I'll actually be watching it live. I'm at the wedding. The reception. Maybe I'll be sneaking it on my phone. I could definitely see me doing that. But I'm excited for it, even if I have to catch it on a replay. So looking forward to that fight. All right, let's move into some actual news now. Fitch. And we didn't even really talk about the title fights. It's Ortega versus Volkanovski, and there's a second title fight, right? The women. Yeah. Whatever.
And in the Yoel Romero and the Davis fight, Davis looked really good, but I don't know if Yoel's. I don't know if he's going to be good at 205. Like he looked slow. He looked sluggish. He wasn't pulling the trigger. Maybe it was his first time jitters in the fight. Some people had commented that he thought it was a 5-round fight. Even still, like he seemed slow on the fight. And again, he never wrestles. He's one of the best wrestlers, most accomplished wrestlers in MMA, and he never takes a shot.
Yeah, and even then, Davis seemed like he was going to win those battles too. He was stopping the very few shots that I think Maybe he shot 3 to 5 times in the whole fight. Not many. Romero, and they were kind of half-hearted. A lot of movement up against the cage. I couldn't believe that it was a split decision when that happened. I thought that was weird.
I thought that was weird. I thought, I didn't see Romero winning a round.
No, I didn't see, and neither did Romero. He said it was clearly him. He couldn't believe it. So let's start this off. Have you seen the "Screw Your Freedoms" clip of Mr. Schwarzenegger? So let's play it for the audience because
Nazi Junior.
We're going to show not only the Nazi ties, but we're going to show the Bloomberg ties. We're going to show the Gates ties. We're going to show you how this is integrated.
Do you see the Gates interview where he's talking about
we played
Epstein?
it today.
He's like, oh well, he's dead. He's dead, so it's like breathing a sigh of relief. Like, well, he's dead, so I don't have to talk about it anymore. Like, brother, drop it, leave it alone. It's over. He's dead, guys. Come on. There's no reason to talk about that old stuff anymore. He's dead.
We're going to play the whole thing here. We've got that one queued up, even though we played it earlier, because I do think it's important. Because remember, he tells you that he was working with Epstein on global health. It's screw your freedoms, global health. Bill Gates loves Australia and the model. Okay, Nazi connections to Schwarzenegger. We're going to show you those, and we'll start with Arnie talking. Here we go.
There's still people that live in denials. There's still people that don't believe in masks. There's still people out there that say, well, we don't have to do social distancing and all this kind of stuff. There is misinformation out there. And my point of it was basically, look, there's no one that knows more about a bicep than I do because I studied this issue for 50 years. And the same is also with the virus. There are people out there that are experts that study this year after year after year and that are experienced, like Dr. Fauci, that has been in this, probably for his entire life.
So let's just stop it there. First of all, he talks about misinformation. Normally, I would queue up some kind of hit piece. The New York Times, for instance, Loose Change, the viral video that bent reality, how it began the misinformation age. I'll tell you what, if I'm misinformation, I'm going to take that as a badge of honor because we all know that the misinformation is coming out of Fauci's mouth. The emails that have come out proving gain of function, proving research at the Wuhan laboratory, proving the efficacy of masks, etc., and him knowing about all of them, it basically shows you that Schwarzenegger is a part of this same globalist system. Let's get to the screw your freedoms part. You probably can't hear this that well, right?
It's a little quiet.
It's low. You're probably only hearing it through the microphone because we're on the road and I don't have a mixer. We need a road mixer to make it that much better. Folks, we're going to get the road mixer. We're taking it to the next level.
I mean, why would you not believe someone like that? And there's so many other scientists out there and experts on this subject. So I believe them and I follow them very carefully. And of course, sometimes things are happening that are unexpected. So then you have to make the adjustments and all that. But I think people should know there is a virus here. It kills people. And the only way we prevent it is to get vaccinated, to wear masks, to do social distancing, washing your hands all the time, and not just to think about, well, my freedom is being kind of disturbed here. No, screw your freedom. Because with freedom comes obligations and responsibility.
Let's just stop there. I mean, only way is what Fauci the liar told us. Apparently, the state, the government, even when they make mistakes, it's always unaccountable. And screw your freedoms. Let's get rid of the washing hands myth, first of all, John. Have you washed your hands?
Didn't that get thrown out a long time ago? That it's not passable through through surfaces and stuff?
I mean, yeah, the tops and surface, that's all over. It's like, listen, you should have washed your hands every once in a while, like several times a day, depending on what you're doing and like how many times you're wiping your ass, right? or scratching your nutsack. Yeah, how many times do you need to wash your hands? I get it. Or you get some dirt on them, whatever. I get it. You get filthy. You didn't have to do it more than normal. And people that are still doing that, people that still have Purell, like, yes, that was frustrating. I went into some convenience store late night, grab something. Dude comes around a corner and I see him. He's just soaked like up elbow deep on both sides in Purell, and you can smell it. And I'm thinking to myself, bro, like, what are you doing? We're in next summer. Haven't we seen this? So again, when authorities tell you the only way is their way and screw your freedoms, what does that sound like? Let's show some people. what it sounds like. Okay. First of all, let's go to the thumbnail. I want people to realize something here because I think that this is important. There's Bloomberg next to Schwarzenegger here. And if you look down by the little needle by Bill Gates, you'll notice that Schwarzenegger's wearing the death's head belt buckle. That's specifically the Nazi death's head. Okay, let me repeat that. That's not just a skull and crossbones. Okay, that is the specific SS Waffen, okay, belt buckle as he stands next to Bloomberg. Let me explain what that means. Okay, Bloomberg is a Jewish man. Okay, just because a lot of Jews died in World War II and the Holocaust, which they did, does not mean that there were not a class of Jewish people that were not affected and actually helped commit that genocide. Okay, that's a fact. And if you look at what's happening right now in Fourth Boosterville over in Israel, where there's all these breakthrough infections and deaths, what have they done to their population with, I don't know, their little vaccine passports and forced boop-boops? Think about that for a second. So let's continue. Where does Schwarzenegger actually come from? First of all, Bloomberg, it's hard for me to see over here, so that's why my head's leaning in. Let's go all the way over here. People need to know these philanthropic organizations are tax havens for demons, okay? So as you see this, John Hopkins and Bloomberg Philanthropies with New York State launch online course to train army of contact tracers to slow the spread of COVID. They told you last year they gave contact tracers to the guy arm in arm with a guy wearing a Nazi death's head belt buckle. Okay? This is reality. People need to grow the fuck up. All right, so let's move on from Bloomberg Financial. Now, Bill Gates, that we love, has teamed up with his foundation to reimagine education amid the pandemic last year. They gave your kids to Bill Gates. They gave the contract tracers to Bloomberg. They gave that to Bill Gates. Now, you think to yourself, well, does Bill Gates have ties to Arnold Schwarzenegger? He does. They're all part of the same fight against global warming at summits around the world. How about that? They all have the same agenda. And then you look at a guy like Arnold and his Nazi problem and the fact that he wouldn't repudiate Kurt Waldheim, Nazi war criminal, okay, and then promoted in the United Nations, okay? So after when it came out and he was at Arnold's wedding and they toasted, you had to remember that, wait, maybe Arnold doesn't care that much because he's actually said in public, hold on, several times, by the way, that's his dad, that's his Nazi SS father, by the way, Gustav Schwarzenegger, that he admires Hitler. Let's find the admires Hitler quote. I have it up here somewhere. What's that? Oh, yeah, by the way, Bill Gates loves Australia's COVID response. So think about that. Bill Gates.
Shooting workers with rubber bullets.
Mm-hmm, yep. And by the way, foreigners are probably going to be replacing New York's unvaccinated hospital staff and nursing homes, according to the new governor that's not being challenged because apparently she didn't know about Andrew Capo Cuomo being a serial killer and never spoke out about it, right? But I guess she didn't play grab ass, so it's okay, right? Where is this? We got to find this. Hold on. I really wanted this one. Oh, yep, there's Stern saying go F yourself, part of the same crew. Very disappointing, Mr. Stern. Very disappointing. Man, where is it? I want to get the exact quote of admiring Hitler. Do we have to do it live? You know what? We're on the road. You're just going to have to try. He says it. He says it in Pumping Iron. Like, that he wants to be a dictator like Hitler. Like, I mean, again, these people are out of their minds. So, let's play the Bill Gates thing because I think that this is important too, right? Because if you look at it, Bill Gates is about global health, and it's the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation that had this lovely oral vaccine that spread polio in the Sudan, the Nigeria, Congo, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, according to the United Nations. And his good buddy, Jeffrey Epstein, which we're about to see this thing on, John. Remember they had that baby-making ranch that never got investigated? The old baby-making ranch? So let's play it. Let's get into it. Let's play it for those that want to see it. And then we're going to take this over to Rockfin exclusively so I can tell you how we really feel. Let's do it.
At that time, that you had a number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who, when you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from minors.
And by the way, it was much more than 10 years ago. They had a 20-plus year relationship. Whitney Webb has exposed this. She's shown everybody out there that actually Jeffrey Epstein used to brag that Donald Trump and Bill Gates were two of his biggest business partners outside of Les Wexner. Fun fact. Fun fact.
What did you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself, in the hopes of raising money?
I had dinners with him.
You see how he's grabbing for his wedding ring right there that's not there anymore? Watch him grab and twist that. He usually twists the wedding ring when he's this uncomfortable, but that's gone.
I regret doing that. He had relationships with people he said, would give to Global Health, which is
It's very uncomfortable looking away.
Not only uncomfortable, but notice it's Global Health. And we all know what global health means when Bill Gates is talking about it. He's talking about the Australia model of locking you and your family in your home anytime he wants, taking away your job and forcing jabs.
Interest I have, not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction. Those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in what he purported, and I cut them off.
You see how he smiles? They didn't. Like he's literally rubbing his hands like a supervillain as he uncomfortably smiles.
Now, that goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continued to meet with him over several years, and that...
You notice how he shakes his head no? And even though he's talking about literally decades he met over decades he met with him. Like over a decade and a half, no, and maybe two.
In other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so in general, you always have to be careful.
Think about what he's saying right there. He goes, well, he's dead, so generally you always have to be careful, as he goes and smirks. Watch again. This is crazy.
For anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so in general, you always have to be careful. And the
and then he
creepy.
just goes, dude, think about that. Like he says he's dead, so you have to be careful. What does that mean? It means if you cross the predator class or you get caught and you're a threat to them, okay, and their agenda, even if you help them with global health, intelligence, and pedophilia, quite frankly, right? They'll take you out. And he smirks and goes like this. Okay, here's the deal, guys. If you're over on YouTube, you need to make that free Rockfin account right now because we're done. We're done over here. I can't say what I want to say. I can't tell you what Bill Gates really is on this program because if I say it, the minions of Bill Gates will come down on me. The overlords at YouTube will take us down.
Overlord experts.
Well, did you see the FDA phone call? Have you seen that going viral?
The FDA phone call? No, there was. I did see some of the Project Veritas stuff.
Oh man, we'll talk about the FDA phone call and Project Veritas. Rockfin.com/Jason Burmis. Go make the free account, but for $9.99 a month, you get the premium stuff, all my premium stuff, all John's premium stuff, everybody's premium stuff. You get to choose who you endorse, and if you do $99.99 for the year, you not only support me, but you support that whole platform and free speech for 12 months.
And cryptocurrency.
Yes, Ray token, and you save $20. So make your way over, YouTube, Arrivederci. Say goodbye to YouTube, John.
Out.